afternoon everybody, Mrs P here. I'm going to do something different today, away from the norm. I'm going to show you how I make a Victoria sandwich. Right, I've prepared everything in advance and I've already greased and lined two 7-inch sandwich tins. Right, now onto the ingredients. I've weighed out 225 grams of caster sugar and 225 grams of self-raising flour with 2 teaspoons of baking powder added. I've also measured out 225 grams of margarine and 4 eggs beaten. So now onto, if you're wondering why I'm sitting down, is because I've got arthritis in my knees and I can't stand up for long periods of time, so I thought I'd just explain that bit too. So, right, Mr P is filming me while I'm doing my vlog. The wiggly fingers are Mr P's, by the way. Right, start off, you add your 225 grams of sugar into a mixing bowl. Be an assistant, Mr P, and put that in the bowl. Then you add your 225 grams of margarine into the bowl also. I'm not going to mix it with a wooden spoon because I've got an electric mixer which is a lot quicker. It might get a bit noisy now, so I won't say anything, but you just beat the sugar and the margarine until it's all blended in. Right, off we go. Right, that's all blended in nicely. Now, I'm not going to touch it with a spoon. I'm going to add a little bit of the egg mixture. Not all of it. And then I'm going to add a little bit of the flour. Not all of it. Right, now I'm going to mix it again and then do the same again. Put the rest of the egg in and put the rest of the flour in. But I always like to put so much of it in first and then put the rest in after I've mixed it up. Right, here we go again. Right, now we put the rest of the egg mixture in. And the rest of the flour. Oops. Everything in the bowl. Right, now we're going to mix it up again and this should be the final mixture. bowl, if there's any mixture stuck to the sides, I don't like to waste a thing, so I always scoop round the side of the edges with a wooden spoon, making sure that all the ingredients are well mixed in, and then I will proceed to mix it once more, and this is the final mix. I like to give it a nice good mix so it gets plenty of air in it, and as I've said, I don't like wasting anything, so I'm now tapping the mixture off of the beating things. Normally at this stage Mr. P had lick the beaters, but I'm not going to show you that. Right, that's about done. Do you want to lick them, Mr. P?
Yeah.
Right, then do it in the bowl. Put some on. It just tastes nice, Mr. P. I'll vouch for that. Right. Now we're putting the tins, and basically you just put half in one tin and half in another. Obviously you don't want one that's bigger than the other, so obviously you have to make sure that it's evenly distributed. So as I say, I don't like wasting anything, so the bottom of the bowl is getting scraped. That's that going straight in the bowl. Just like to even it out a little bit with my wooden spoon. And another little trick I have is I always tap them, and as you can see you get shut of all these little air bubbles that's rose to the top. So you just tap it a little bit, and as you can see the air bubbles are all disappearing and they're all bursting. Yeah, you like your sponge to be light, but you don't like it with great big air bubbles in it. So I always do this prior to putting them in the oven, so all the ones that have rose to the top, as you can see that one there's just popped, and it's just to make a bit more even mixture. This has got quite a few air bubbles, so as I'm tapping it you'll see them start to burst. And this is just a trick I learnt from school, when we used to make them at school. It's just basically to get shut of the air bubbles that are on top of the cakes. Right, that's it for now. I'm not going to show you putting them in the oven, because knowing my luck I'll probably drop them putting them in the oven. But once they're out of the oven and I'm putting them on a cooling rack, I'll show you then. Obviously I've got to let them cool down a bit, and I will be putting jam and cream in it. Bye for now. Right guys, I'm back. I put my Victoria sponge in the oven, gas mark 6, for 25 minutes. Now I've just this minute got it out. This one came out okay. This one was all stuck to the pan, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my jam and my cream on that one, and then I'm going to turn that over and put that one on the top, because as you can see it's stuck to the pan a little bit, so people's not going to see it once I've got the jam and the cream on it. So all I've got to do at the moment is let it cool down for a little while, and then I'll be back shortly to show you the jam and the cream, and then it's finished. Right, my Victoria sandwich is now cooled down. What I've done is I've put a couple of tablespoons of jam in a bowl and I've warmed it up in microwave, so it's better to spread on the cake, because we took it out of the fridge and it was quite hard, so it makes it harder to spread. So what I've done is I've just put it on for a minute, and it's like a lovely consistency where it's easier to spread. I've also mixed some double cream up, and I've got a little bit of icing sugar. I mean, the recipe says to sprinkle caster sugar on it, but I prefer just a sprinkling of icing sugar. So right, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little bit of jam on it. Hopefully we can cover that hole up where it stuck to the pan. You don't necessarily want a lot of jam on because you're going to have cream on it as well, but obviously you want to taste the jam, so a couple of tablespoons should do it. That's all I've put in here. So basically that'll cover that hole up and enough to sandwich it together. So just use the last little bit up and hopefully see how easy it is to spread the jam. I mean, all it needs is a minute in microwave and it sufficiently melts it enough to be able to spread it without it all clumping and all getting in a mess. Right, Mr. P, if you'd be so kind as to pass me the cream. Right, this is just a small tub of double cream. That should be sufficient. Put it there, and I'll just making the jam go all over now. Trouble with this double cream, you can either get it too thin or you get it too thick where you can't spread it, and it's like melting the cream now because obviously the jam's slightly warm, which isn't too bad a thing, but it's making the cream slide a little bit. We ought to let the jam cool down a little bit. One more little bit and then we should be ready to put the top on it. Right, that's that done. So now what I'm going to do is, if I can get it off the plate, is put the top of the cake on. Oops, crumbling there a bit, you see. And basically I just get my fingers, a little sprinkling of icing sugar all over the cake, and there you have a Victoria sponge.
Very nice.
Apart from the crumbly bits, which basically goes to show that it's a light mixture. Do you want to test a bit, Mr. P?
Oh yeah, look forward to eating that tomorrow.
Right, I'll leave it there. So now you've seen me make a Victoria sponge, decorate it, and we're going to be having that after a Sunday lunch. Bye for now.
Models popping bottles.